Yo, what is up guys? Welcome to the video. I hope everybody's day is going great. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Dallas Fuel. A lot of stuff has been going on the past night with Effect, Taimou, Kyky said some stuff, Custa said some stuff, Taimou, he's going through some unfortunate situations, Effect back in Korea. We're going to cover all the Dallas Fuel news. And then after that we will cover my Overwatch League super team. So if you're new around here guys, don't forget like the video, subscribe, and let's go ahead and hop right into it. So this first situation is really unfortunate, and I do hope everything is going well with Taimou. You just gotta hate to see any player have to go through this. It just really sucks, and if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I'm just gonna go ahead and hop into it. This is what happened with Taimou yesterday. So this all started when Taimou said this on Twitter. I was supposed to stream very early, but had a very bad panic attack, kept me awake until 6 a.m. and I just woke up. Stream in 30 minutes or so. Then somebody asked him what exactly happened and what caused the panic attack. He said this. I don't know what it is, but my panic attacks don't really make me hyperventilate. I just get super cold feet and the left side of my body goes numb and feels like it's swelling, just like I would get a stroke. Yesterday was so bad though, worst I've had in many years. Had to call Taimou to keep me company for a few hours in the middle of the night. Thanks for that, buddy, heart. Then on Snapchat he said this. Urgent care said I might have a stroke. To the ER we go, sad face. Then he said this, I think we're fine, lol, just getting a scan to make sure. And then in the last tweet he said this, and in the news, brain's fine, I'm not dying, really annoying feeling to have half of your body hurting / numb 24/7 though. ER peeps said it's probably extreme stress and or a migraine. Lol, easy. So first and foremost, as I already said, this is extremely unfortunate. I hope that no player ever goes through this type of experience. I've personally had a panic attack in the past, and I know a lot of people who've had one before as well. They're not fun. It leads to a lot of anxiety, and you don't really know what's going on with your body. And I can imagine that all the stress from being on the Dallas Fuel has added up to these players. And it makes sense that stuff like this would happen. It sucks. I feel really bad for the players. I've been saying it for the past couple weeks now in my videos. It just sucks to be on that team. It's great and all that Taimou, he was there by the side of Taimou. Awesome, great. I appreciate that. I'm sure Taimou appreciates that. It's always good to have somebody to talk to and be with when you're feeling really down and you have anxiety. And this really isn't Taimou's fault overall. He's just the GM of the team. I don't really think he has power to go and hire a sports psychologist or a therapist for the team, which is what they need. Whoever is on the top, I don't know if it's Hastro who can make those decisions. Might be because he is the owner, or if it's the people above him who are invested in the team. I don't know. Hastro needs to figure something out and get these damn players a therapist, sports psychologist. It's an absolute damn shame that they don't have one already. Astro said in his AMA that he did last week they do have somebody that the players can talk to, but the person that they can talk to is just an ex-pro Korean player. It's not like this guy actually studies in psychology or therapy and can actually help these players on a level that they need it. Because clearly, Taimou is not in a good spot. He said in his tweets it could be caused from stress. Maybe that's what it is. Anxiety, panic attacks. Hastro really needs to hire somebody that can help these guys. I feel ashamed that this organization hasn't already, because clearly their players are not mentally stable. They're not. We've known this for the past 2 months. Ever since they started losing in the first stage, it was abundantly clear that some of these players just do not have the right mindset. And obviously, when they continue to lose like this, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. So something needs to be done by this organization. Just talking to a friend or somebody inside of the team is only a quick fix. It's not going to last long term. They need an actual sports psychologist, a therapist, somebody that can actually calm them down, help them focus on the right things in life. And that's pretty much it. I'm just disappointed in the Dallas Fuel management. I feel bad for the players. Hopefully Taimou just takes a break, starts relaxing. And now this kind of leads into Effect, which thankfully for him, he is actually taking a break. It seems like he is in Korea. He added a command into his chat. It says this: vacation. Effect is currently streaming from an internet cafe in South Korea. So it seems like he's on vacation, hanging out with his family, friends, whatever he is doing. He is not focused on the Overwatch League, his team, improving or winning, anything like that, which is exactly what he needs right now. A good long break where he can just reset his entire mentality. Alright, now let's go ahead and take a look at what Kyky said about the Dallas Fuel. He said this: I am very interested in pledging myself and learning from who can fix Dallas. If all stays the same, until then, I'll just be labeled as a player coach. Not really sure what to make of this. Kinda seems like Kyky is saying nobody can fix the Dallas Fuel, and that until everybody realizes that, he'll just be labeled as a player coach. I'm not sure what this means. I could be wrong. It's kind of what it sounds like, so I don't know. Interesting thing from Kyky coming out here. And now let's go ahead and move on to what Custa said about the LA Valiant, Dallas Fuel, Overwatch League in general. There's a lot of good insight in this article from Custa. So first, he talks about the trade. He got a call from Kyky near the end of Stage 2. They had received a trade offer from Valiant. They wanted to do a 1-for-1 trade, Unco and Custa. Kyky told me Valiant didn't want anyone else. They just wanted Valiant. At first, he said it was really hard for him to hear the news. He worked so hard with the Dallas Fuel, and to hear them say they want to trade him, they don't want him anymore, kind of felt crappy. But then he eventually realized it was a good opportunity for him to be able to join the LA Valiant. There's no reason to be mad at the Dallas Fuel. They want a straight up Zen player, somebody who is very experienced in the role so they don't have to commit to teaching Harry or Chips how to get really good at Zen. And he started realizing how hard it was to actually play for the Dallas Fuel. Mentality wise, it was really hard to keep up his morale after they kept losing early on. Everything kind of just kept going downhill. He was also very excited to hear that the Valiant really wanted him, and they wanted him for a specific role. Going into the LA Valiant, Custa knew what his job was, and having a path he could follow was a lot more exciting. He said this now about being on the LA Valiant. On Valiant, I definitely feel that we have the ability to compete with the best teams in the league and beat them. We have a good playoff run ahead of us, and in a few months when playoffs start, we'll be even more prepared. Right now, we are still in that honeymoon period where everything is new, and we are trying to find our feet and overcome some issues. If we can get through all that and still be even a fraction of the team we are now, I think we'll be able to show everyone that we can compete for those top spots. The key to success in Overwatch League is having an incredibly good team structure, and players who are focused on improving and functioning as a team. It's not the best mechanical players or any of the small things that make a great team. It's the players that work best as a unit that is going to win the league. Now here's where the really good insight comes in about the LA Valiant and the Dallas Fuel. He said this: language and cultural barriers are a major problem right now, but I think the league will find a way to overcome them in the future. In terms of integrating and helping Korean and Western players, Valiant is doing a better job than Fuel was. Valiant have a translator available 24/7. And everyone respects each other enough to let them do things in their own way. Everything is done in both English and Korean, so it feels like everyone is involved at all time. At Fuel, every now and then we would have lengthy discussions in English, so you couldn't expect the Koreans to follow along. You could tell there was a major disconnect between the Western and Korean players because every time we had a major discussion, it was either fully in English or fully in Korean. At every point, one half was getting left out. It was definitely a hindrance to the team. He then continued to talk about how a lot of the Overwatch League players kind of got caught off guard with how the league was structured and how their lives were going to have to change. A lot of the players were just young kids who would stay up till 4 in the morning, playing video games, waking up at noon, and besides their scrims, they had no structure in their lives before the league. They didn't live on their own, they didn't move a lot, they didn't travel, and all of this at the same time, with a set schedule and 2 matches a week, is a big change. So nobody realized how tiring it was going to be. It sounds like he's talking about someone very similar to XQC. For some of the players, it's not the case that they were able to adjust. You almost need to take control of their lives and essentially tell them what to do. That's why you see players who still don't have furniture or even the ability to live in their own apartments. He then said this about Valiant and Fuel again: on Valiant, we have a lot of younger players, so I'm trying to lead by example and show them things they can do to get themselves in the right place. As much as management helps a lot with that, having a player who everyone can mimic and copy is good for the team. That's what I'm trying to do. It'll take time to integrate, but I just want to help get these young players in the right mindset. Fuel kind of wanted a leader, but the biggest problem was that it's a very old team, and a lot of people were stuck in their old habits. For the most part, they didn't want someone who was speaking for them on their behalf, or trying to be a guiding figure. Who knows where the future will lead? For now, I'm just focused on being a player and playing as long as I can. I want to be someone who's respected in the Overwatch League. There's a lot of players who will easily be forgotten, but when people think of the league, I want Custa to be a name that everyone knows and remembers. Wow, so very insightful, as I said. It's a very long read as well. If you guys want to check out the entire article, I'll leave it down below. I did try to summarize most things and then give you guys the full bits of the important stuff. But again, very awesome article. Check it out. It's done by the Players Lobby and Custa. And overall, Custa, wow, just phenomenal. This guy is very level-headed. He understands the position he is in. Kind of reminds me of Jake, but even more experienced and mature. I think Custa's got everything going for him in the world. I'm happy that he's now on the Los Angeles Valiant, a team where he has a specific role, and he can help these younger players come into their own. As for the things he said about the Dallas Fuel, makes a lot of sense, kind of ties in with the ego thing, where everyone thinks they know how they want to run the team and they should be the leader, but then nobody actually really steps up to the plate. Also, the big thing he mentioned, first person to finally confirm that the Dallas Fuel does not have a translator. And in my opinion, that is absolutely ridiculous. We talked about the Dallas Fuel management earlier in this video, and we've talked about them in a lot of videos. They need to get their crap together. Get a full-time translator. Half your team is Korean, the other half are Western players who speak English. You need a full-time translator and a sports psychologist. There's no way this team ever improves without either of those. There's not a chance, dude. I feel so bad for all the players that have to go through this crap. Sure, they have egos and some of it might be their fault. And as Custa explained, a lot of them are still just young adults and don't know how to adapt to this lifestyle, be an actual leader. Like, they need help. I hate talking about this crap because it gets me fired up. The Dallas Fuel management is a joke. Seems like that is the takeaway from almost every video we mention them. And that's it. Again, amazing article. I want to give a round of applause for Custa. Go follow him on social media, guys. Custa's a great guy. And that's it for the Dallas Fuel segment in this video. Let's go ahead and move on to my super team. Now, this was kind of tough for me. Obviously, there's a lot of great players in the Overwatch League. Last week, I just got done doing my top 10 Overwatch League players. I wanted to make a team that, in my opinion, right now would be the absolute strongest in the league no matter what. I also wanted to limit my team to only 7 players, 6 starters, and 1 sub. This way, it wasn't so easy to just pick the top 12 players in the league. I had to actually choose from those top 12 and narrow it down to 7. So let's go ahead and start off with my supports. I think it's fairly easy. Jay Jonak, absolutely the best Zenyatta to ever play the game. This guy has put on a clinic every single Overwatch League game, and who better to have by his side than Arc? These two have hands down proved that they are the best support duo in the entire league. Hell, they might even be the best duo overall of anybody in the league. Arc is so good at keeping Jonak alive, while just keeping himself alive too. They just hardly die, which is incredible because every single team guns for them. Obviously, their team do a great job at protecting them as well, but I think Arc and Jonak definitely stand out compared to everybody else in the league, especially in their roles. So that's our support players. Let's now move on to our tanks. We'll start off with the main tank, Fisher, from the Los Angeles Gladiators. We've seen what he's done for the Los Angeles Gladiators. He turned this team from a bottom 4 to a top 6 one. They have a chance at making the playoffs. They've gotten some wins off some really good teams since he's joined, and they've looked so much better. The fact that him single-handedly was able to turn this team around when half their players are English and the other half are Korean, pretty phenomenal. That's a big reason why I want him on this team. We all know he's a great player, and he more than likely is the best main tank in the league, but what he did for the Los Angeles Gladiators team-wise and overall, and as a leader, is crazy. So I need that on my team no matter what. That's why we're going with Fisher instead of anybody else. Don't think I'm trying to take anything away from his mechanical skill, though. This guy's a playmaker. He does some nutty things. I already showed you guys in that one video what he did to agilities on Oasis was freaking ridiculous. The guy's nuts. Moving on to the off-tank. Now, some of you guys might be surprised, some of you guys might not be. It's gonna be Note. The first Western player of this team, might be the last, might not be. We'll get into that later. But Note is a phenomenal diva player. Nobody, absolutely nobody can argue right now that this guy is not world class. It's definitely arguable that there could be some better off-tanks in the league, but I think Note fits this team perfectly. Jonak, Arc, and Fisher, they are playmakers. They need a defensive diva, somebody who is going to keep them alive, make sure that when they do get a little greedy and they get out of position, Note is going to fly in, pop that matrix, and keep them alive. He tops this roster off perfectly, in my opinion. If we were to have somebody like Fury, who is an extremely aggressive diva, yeah, it could work out where the team is really aggressive, but I think it's smarter to bring in somebody who is defensive-minded and can help in that area. And also, Note is just played out of his mind the entire stage. And honestly, not even just this stage. Note's been playing really good all season long. He's a big reason why the Boston Uprising are in the position they're in. He's extremely underrated. And now let's move on to the first DPS player, who would more than likely be on Tracer a lot, Striker, also from the Boston Uprising, who already has the synergy with Note. And right now, I think Striker is the best Tracer in the league, and he's also busted out Junkrat, and he's looking like the best Junkrat in the league as well. He has a lot of time played on that Junkrat, one of the most in the league, and he also has the highest KD. So showing that he can flex a little bit is great. Now let's just be honest, Striker's been phenomenal this stage. Holy crap, MVP caliber of the entire season in my opinion. Overall, the Boston Uprising have played great. They work together well as a team, and they're beating the best teams in the league. But they still are sitting on the back of Striker. This guy is performing every single match lights out. Mistakes, he's an okay DPS player. He seems to be playing that supportive role that Hureg is also playing on London Spitfire, where you don't need to carry. You just want to put Striker in a position where he can carry, and Striker carries. He carries, guys. Like, he is popping off this stage. So I just have to put him on this roster. Moving on to our second DPS player, we have Libero from the New York Excelsior. Now, if I just had to put Libero on this team, there's no way you can have a super team in the Overwatch League and not put Libero on it right now. I kind of floated the idea of having Fleta instead of Libero, but I think Libero so far in the Overwatch League has proved that he is not only more flexible than Fleta, he's actually better at most of the heroes as well. Sure, Fleta might be an all-star Widowmaker, but Libero also showed he can be one, and we won't be needing a Widowmaker on this team anyway. You'll figure out later why. Libero overall, he provides that really good projectile play. You can count on him to be a god tier Genji, Pharah, and Junkrat. That's what you mainly want him for. Then you can also run him on the Sombra, the Hanzo, whatever you need whenever you want to flex. So you have to have Libero. You have to. There's no way you can leave him out of this team. And then the very last player on this team, which you could consider the sub, or you can consider Libero or Striker the sub. It is a DPS player, and it is Carpe from the Philadelphia Fusion. This is why we don't need a Widowmaker. You got Carpe. He'll handle that Widowmaker job anytime you need it. So if you want to run a similar style to the Philadelphia Fusion where you have a hit, scan, and a tracer player, you run Striker and Carpe. Striker can also play the Junkrat. Carpe can also play a Genji. Then when you want to run a projectile player and a tracer, you can either run Libero and Striker, Libero and Carpe. This trio of DPS players is absolutely insane. The best I can come up with right now in the league. These guys will fulfill anything you need at any point. You'll never have to worry about not having the correct players for a specific hero. And I think combined with the other players on this roster, this team would be absolutely deadly. So this is my Overwatch League super team. Let me know what you guys think about my Overwatch League super team down below. Obviously, there's a lot of good players in the league right now who could be on this list that I didn't mention. SBB, Mano, Gesture, Prophet, and even more. But I feel these are the best performers right now, and overall, if they made a team at this moment, they would absolutely crush everybody. And this is going to be it for the video, guys. Thank you for watching. If you're new around here, do not forget to hit the subscribe button, hit that like button. I upload Overwatch League content every single day. You'll never miss out. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.